The Lexington Grand Hotel shimmered under the golden glow of chandeliers as the elite of Washington, media moguls, and top political figures gathered for the annual Journalists and Leaders Gala. It was a night of expensive wine, rehearsed speeches, and carefully curated networking. The event, known for its sharp debates and high-stakes discussions, was about to take a turn no one anticipated. Among the attendees sat Barron Trump, the youngest son of former President Donald Trump. Unlike his father, Barron had maintained a low profile, avoiding public debates and media attention. Yet, tonight, all eyes would be on him, and not for the reasons he expected. Barron had arrived at the gala with measured confidence, dressed in a sleek black suit, his expression unreadable. This was not his world, and yet, he carried himself with the quiet authority of someone who had learned from years of public scrutiny. While many saw him as simply the son of a controversial figure, tonight he would prove he was more than just a name. Meanwhile, at the podium stood Julia Marks, a veteran political journalist notorious for her sharp tongue and relentless critiques. She had built her career on publicly dismantling politicians with biting humor and a fearless attitude. Tonight, her target was just a few feet away. Julia took a deliberate pause, surveying the crowd with a confident smirk. Then, she spoke. "Ladies and gentlemen, we often discuss leadership, legacy, and power. But tonight, let's talk about inheritance. About the privileges one is born into. Like sitting at a gala, enjoying a five-star meal, while others actually work to get here." The room tensed. His eyes darted toward Barron. He remained composed, his hands resting calmly on the table. Julia continued, her words dripping with sarcasm. "We know his father was the man of strong opinions. I just wonder if the apple falls far from the tree. Do we have another Twitter-fueled politician in the making? Or will young Barron surprise us all?" Laughter rippled through the audience. Some chuckled uncomfortably. Others exchanged nervous glances. But Barron didn't flinch. Instead, he took a slow sip of water, his expression completely unbothered. After a brief moment, Barron slowly rose from his chair, adjusting the cuffs of his suit. The whispers died down as the youngest Trump walked toward the stage. Standing before the crowd, he took the microphone. His voice was steady, measured, unshaken. "Ms. Marks," he began, locking eyes with the journalist. "I've watched you build your career on exposing the flaws of others. And tonight, you had your moment. But let's be honest. It wasn't really about me, was it?" Julia's smirk faded slightly. "The truth is," Barron continued, "we all have privileges. Some are born into them, some earn them, some take them. But real leadership is measured not by where you start, but by how you use what you've been given." The room was pin-drop silent. "For someone who believes in free speech," Barron said, "you sure enjoy dictating the conversation. You talk about legacy like it's a prison sentence. But I see it as a responsibility." Julia blinked. Momentarily at a loss for words, Barron stepped closer, lowering his voice just slightly. "You assume I will be like my father, because it fits your narrative. But have you ever asked me what I believe? What I want to stand for?" Julia swallowed, her confidence visibly shaken. Silencing people with labels and assumptions isn't journalism. It's control. The murmurs in the crowd grew louder. Some nodded in agreement. Others exchanged stunned looks. Barron turned to the audience. "I respect honest debate. But tonight wasn't about debate. It was about spectacle." Then, he did something no one expected. He smiled. Not smugly, not in defiance, but with genuine composure. And then, he left the stage. The video of the moment went viral overnight. News networks picked it apart. Some praised Barron for his maturity and class. Others called it a media setup gone wrong. But one thing was clear. He had changed the conversation. Even Julia Marks, the woman who had thrown the first punch, admitted in an interview days later, "I underestimated him. I won't make that mistake again." For Barron Trump, this wasn't about winning or losing. It was about showing that silence is not always weakness, and that sometimes the best response is the one people never see coming. Major news networks scrambled to cover the moment. Fox News called it a masterclass in grace under pressure. CNN debated whether Julia Marks had overstepped, while social media exploded with reactions from all sides of the political spectrum. Some Twitter users defended Julia, claiming she was simply doing her job. Others applauded Barron for handling himself better than seasoned politicians. Hashtags like hashtag Barron Trump debate and hashtag classover controversy trended for days. Julia Marks, meanwhile, remained eerily silent. This wasn't just another viral moment. Barron's response ignited a larger conversation about media ethics, public perception, and the power of narrative. Political analysts weighed in, discussing whether this moment marked a shift in how the next generation of Trumps might handle public life. Meanwhile, opinion pieces flooded major publications. Some called Barron a symbol of restraint and intelligence in a chaotic media landscape. Others argued that the media's obsession with his response only highlighted how much they had underestimated him. One thing was certain: this was a moment that would be talked about for years. If you found this story compelling, subscribe for more powerful moments that challenge, inspire, and leave us questioning everything we thought we knew.